Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Friday 29th of July 2022. So stocks, bonds, gold and cryptos extend gains as White House confirms Fed pivot. So whatever was said by the White House has managed to move the market higher, and we find ourselves back from 2008 to 2022 where it's just a case of buying the dip on the upside. Well, that's what they're saying, but maybe a reality will kick in at some point. But wow, it's just insane, isn't it? As a good friend of mine and fellow trader of 30 years said yesterday, if it ain't hurting, it ain't working. And that means that inflation will continue to rip higher. So good luck if you're going to start pivoting already. I mean, we went from January of this week in all of the news that the Fed would pivot and then think about cutting rates. And we have a 75 basis rate increase on Wednesday. And now, tied into this in the press conference, they're thinking of, or hinting and implying that they're going to be actually cutting rates. It's just insane, isn't it? But there you go. It shouldn't be a surprise. But US equities end the day firmer. Amazon and Apple soar after market with the earnings. So it's earnings season as well. Recession fears mount as US shrinks for the second straight quarter. Now, there's an interesting headline, isn't it? Because, recession fears mount. It's all right, just move the stock market up. I'll take care of it. Amazing. Now, there won't be any winners because the status quo is corrupt everywhere. And it is, isn't it? Whether it's politics, wherever you look at the moment, the whole thing is corrupt. And as it says there, systemic corruption on this vast scale optimizes failure and collapse. It certainly does, because eventually the whole system comes down. And no doubt, so we're heading in that direction. News today. We've got European news out first thing, 6:30 and 10 a.m. Got the French flash GDP, CPI flash estimate, and the core CPI flash estimate. And then we go over to the US at 130 core PCE price index. This is showing an increase. That's inflationary. And then the consumer sentiment as well, which is forecasting the same number. That any higher, again, inflationary. Gold-silver ratio tanked yesterday because silver was allowed to move up once more. So we've gone from 94, as I said to you the other day in the Market Alert. Once they let it rip, this drops like a stone, and you can see that already happening. So let's have a look at the stock markets for yesterday. Kick off with the Dow. You can see the market charging through that 62% retracement we drew in, and stopping at 78% during yesterday's session. We're really primed to move higher. Goldman Sachs are talking about the market ripping the face off the sellers today. Whether that's the case or not, we'll wait and see. Trade what you see, not what you think. But at the moment, the market is heading higher, as can be seen by the 30-minute chart. Yesterday, the market moving sharply to the upside. We go from the low to the close of last night. Just after the close, you'll see the market up 663 points for the Dow. And overnight, market sideways, but finding support at yesterday's close, and also moving back above the 5 and the 20 bar moving average. Now, the high is in the crosshair. That's what they'll be gunning for this morning. And in the German DAX, we traded up to a double top there of 13,443. We went through the 89% retracement there. This was the Amazon and Apple figures after market, moving the market up to this double top. But overnight, the DAX slightly weaker than the Dow. No doubt it will soon play catch up. And in the 30-minute chart, you'll just have to watch the DP there and the high. The energy issue continues in Europe, but this is having no impact on the market at the moment. We're just seeing prices being moved up. As you can see there, yesterday we had a pullback to the low. Told you how important the low is. They buy the market, and then it just continued all the way up. And this is a big move in the German DAX. So go to the low, which is there, up to the end of the trading session, which, that's 2030. The end of the session at 4 is just there. That's 171 points, which is a lot. But then it continued. We go from the low all the way through to the spike there. You'll see 360 points. Massive move there for the DAX during yesterday's day session and into the evening. At the moment, struggling a bit, but watch the high. Watch the high, just as the Dow. If the Dow moves high, it'll drag the German DAX up with it. In the 5-minute chart yesterday, we saw the initial move to the upside. The market came back, retraced, and then traded down to the low. Market sat sideways, and then, as we saw, started to make its way up. It was choppy, as can be seen there, and news coming out. But once the Dow opened, it managed to drag the market to the upside. Results so far this week. 63219, good day yesterday. 234 profit factor, 55-45 win to loss ratio there, so not complaining at all. In the S&P, you can see this driving higher through 78 yesterday, 89 there as well. Needs to take out the 89 in order to move higher and get back to where the selling took place last time. Could be seeing another sell-off shortly as the market realises that it's going to be more of a recession following the rhetoric of the pivot. 30-minute chart, market finding support at the DP. And it's amazing how choppy the market is during a sideways move before it's able to move back up. Also 50 bar moving average tying in with this level as well. And say once the market moves, it continues up. Watch yesterday's high. This is going to be an area of resistance for this market. The daily chart for the FTSE 100 went through the 200, as can be seen. 62% retracement as well. Market struggling a bit there. Needs to close above this if it's to head to the 78 level. When you look at all of these daily charts, they've been nothing but up days, so we are due for a day of corrective moves as well, so keep that in mind. Down on the 30-minute, all the way down to, guess what, the low, and we see the climatic volume oversold, the market then moving back to the upside. And in the yen yesterday, we see prices moving to the downside. And this has continued overnight as we head towards the 78 and 89% retracement there. Inside the 30-minute yesterday, we were overbought with divergence, crossover, and at the S1 we closed below it, and that's how we continued for the day. Evening and overnight, the markets traded back to the DP, but have then continued down through the low, and also sitting at the S1 at the moment and currently oversold. In the pound, the market also continues to show strength, 78% retracement there. A bit of supply for Wednesday, Thursday at that 50 EMA as well. Overbought, looking for a bit of a correction there, but that's going to take the dollar to move higher. We've got the 30-minute where it was sideways, then we move down to the DP. And this is what I mean about a market being stuck in a sideways move. We've got the sideways bit, we break out, we come back, we sit sideways, and then we break out once more, sideways, and then break again. And finally, in the metals, well, still being allowed to move to the upside at the moment. Staggering, we're heading towards 2050. Is going to be around this level for the EMA. It's just have a look at the price. Just make sure I'm in the right. Yeah, so it's 20.33, so $20.33 area for the 50 EMA, but it's got to get through the 22 there. You look at the 30-minute chart yesterday, we had a bit of a negative move to the downside to begin with at the R1, and then all of a sudden the market just broke to the upside, as again implied by the White House that we could see a pivot of rates already. Absolute joke, isn't it? Already through yesterday's high, but don't forget this is going to be a temporary move. There will be a pullback in this market, just as you will see in gold as well, once the narrative switches again to next month's rate increase of 75 basis points. the precious metal markets will come under pressure, and you'll see the markets putting in retracements. In the US dollar, moving down, of course, overnight as well at the moment, so because of this pivot nonsense. You can see they're just heading to 62% retracement for the dollar index there. And crude oil still holding at that $107 per barrel level. So yeah, let's see what happens today. Let's see if the pivot news continues to dominate and the longs have their way and continue to move the markets to the upside. But certainly there's a big squeeze on at the moment, that's for sure. Okay, that'll do it for this one. Have a great weekend. And as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.